Hi, Jess.
Hi.
We'll pretend like we didn't just talk about your pillow fort for 10 minutes.
It's all
So,
about comfort here.
refresher to our guests and our hosts. We'll do a check-in. One with Eva is on day one of no coffee. So we'll get an update. I think especially with Jess, it's fun to talk about how we met and all know each other.
Yes, my favorite story to tell.
And then I'm going to lump Jess's topic as parenting, because it's sort of motherhood, pregnancy.
Whole mishmash of things, really.
And then we'll see what comes off of that.
Cool.
So how are you feeling?
Today's been kind of rough. Truthfully, my head has been so, it hasn't hurt too bad. It's just more of in a cloud all day. It just feels heavy and I feel very tired.
Tell them why. Because you're not drinking coffee.
Yeah. So as I've mentioned on probably every episode that we've ever made, I have really bad reflux, and one of the biggest reflux irritants is coffee, and that's literally how I start my day every single day. So today I decided not to drink my coffee, and I very sadly, bittersweetly report that my reflux was actually not too bad today. I had a couple times where it was a little uncomfortable. I ate some grapes today, which I looked up are a little acidic, so I'm going to try to start cutting some of that stuff out.
How acidic can a grape be?
A little bit. But I really only had half a Tums, and I feel a little bit of it now because I had Alfredo for dinner. It was garlicky, but it's manageable and not as bad as it normally is all day long. So
wow,
who
would have known?
What?
Does Steve drink coffee? Okay, no temptation there.
No.
I'm on year 32 of no coffee. I feel okay. Thanks for asking.
So we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the couple next days go. Hopefully I feel better physically without it and with less reflux.
Trooper, tomorrow's Friday, so it's takeout day, so I'll have to get something reasonable for you.
Yeah.
So since we have Jess, who would like to discuss how you know Jess and how Jess became your best friend and how you both owe it all to me?
Well, we really owe it all to.
Whoa.
How far should I go back?
You start.
And you and future baby you.
Jess knows the story. I love to tell it because for all of you that are listening and future kid, know that my initial degree in school is in political science, and I went back to school to become a dietitian. And there were many times I was like, I wish I would have done this earlier. I could have started my career sooner. But if I did that, I would have never met Steve, and I never would have met Jess, because when I had my initial job out of college, was working in politics, and decided to go back to school for nutrition. My classes were at night, and I had to do a lot of volunteering during the day. So I wanted to get a job at a restaurant to just have some income. And the first place I went to was Kitchen Bar, where Steve hired me until we met. And then that's how me and Jess met. And so if I never went that path, we would all not be here today.
How long did you hire us? How much time difference was there?
I was going to ask you that. I don't know who I hired first.
I think it was a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think you were in the same cohort of it was probably around the summer because it was nice out, or just before the summer. So it was in that June, hiring. You bring on a bunch of people.
I remember I was at a table once and getting all my stuff, and all of a sudden I heard Eva, and I looked and it was Jess, and she had a bread basket or something, and she helped me, and then we both went to the kitchen, and she went, "I'm Jess."
Yeah, she's just flirting.
Yeah.
And then Eva told me she thought I was funny, and that's why I was like, oh my god, we're best friends. She thought I was funny.
Wow.
So we've texted every day ever since.
That's how she reels us all in.
That was what year? 2012?
That's when it was 8 years.
Yeah.
This summer will be 8 years that this threesome relationship has been intact.
It's been so great.
Kid show.
All ups. Very little downs between us. Almost no downs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not between you two. Me and you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
no, Steve hired me, so Steve was my boss. So when he didn't let me get away with things, I was like, oh, your boyfriend's so annoying.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know. She didn't want to get in the middle of it. But all love.
Yeah. And we all quit, and now we're all
we all quit. Now we don't care.
That was funny. We've never really dove delved into you and I met. Like that's
Yeah.
how'd you meet your wife? Like I hired her. But like
I think that's how I come in. I'm like your how did you meet story
exactly.
Mhm.
right in the beginning. I've
That's
known you guys.
I remember that we had a hostess named Sydney, and I remember like Sydney talked me up to you, which like props to
She
Sydney.
did. She said he's really funny. You're really gonna like him.
Sydney, if you're watching, shout out to that weird makeup venture that you're pushing right now. I respect
I saw
that
that.
over 20s hustle.
What?
I almost got her split end thing. I really need that.
I'm not familiar. Maybe I'm not friends with her anymore.
Yeah, everybody in their mid to low 20s goes, it just gets involved in a pyramid scheme in some kind of way. Whether you're selling makeup or lotion or hair ends or what, I don't know what it is, but I see like my discount code and I just, but shout out to Sydney because she talked me up
Right
and then we had your interview and then you had no restaurant experience.
Yeah.
And
I had originally been interviewing for a daytime position.
you both tried to fake me out. Jess had bartender experience at Chili's.
I opened Chili's. I was a bartender.
You were a waitress. You just stood behind a bar. Chili's doesn't count. But no, so I didn't need a bartender. So Jess was a server, and we were gonna have a daytime shift host for Eva because she had no experience. But I worked at nights, and Eva is beautiful. So
Pretty girl problems.
obviously, I cooked the books, and Eva worked at night.
Yeah, I actually remember you calling me. I was at a political event, and you called me, and you were like, "Hey, would you want to work? Would you want to like?" He's like, I think you said something like we had an opening or something. Would you want to switch to evenings and be a server? And I was like, "Yeah, like that's what I wanted to do in the first place."
Oh my god.
And then we became buds, and your trainer Liz, who was my work mom, we used to set up so she'd keep you late so you couldn't hang out with your friends. That wasn't really a setup because she was really making you do stuff, but she would act like she was doing me a favor. And then I'd be like, I would love to go get a drink. Not a big drinker. I doubt that I will be at the time you view this kid. So we'd go out and get drinks or whatever. Do you remember what's like the moment, one of the moments for you? And it's one you always tell of like when you liked me or loved me. Probably not love me at that point.
I don't know.
What's your favorite us flirting early at the bar after work?
I don't know. I was smiling.
At the V?
Oh, that? I don't tell that. Well, it's not even like weird. I just broken up with somebody, and Steve asked me like, "Are you seeing anybody?" And I said, "We literally just broke up. Like we had just broken up like 2 weeks before." And I was like, "Yeah, he broke up with me." And Steve went, "He broke up with you?" And he just would go, "What an idiot!" And like throughout the conversation,
screaming at the bar.
Like we would be talking about something, he'd be like, "You? What an idiot!" He just kept like yelling it.
I've never heard the story.
That's why we named you after that guy.
Oh my god! So.
Oh my god, that'd been so
name.
weird.
Is that true or is it not true? You won't know.
True.
It's not gonna be true.
So that's it.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Good times.
But it was the closer that the two of you became, and you both were in school and like on the outs of working in the restaurant, the harder it was to be your boss. Because I'd walk into like the back server area and you're like eating soup or you're like hiding upstairs and you just always.
I thought I could get away with it. My best friend was shagging the boss. I mean,
drove me crazy.
Little did I know.
Kid, you know that how this work ethic. Nobody slacks off in this family. Got away with murder, you guys.
So that's our story.
Damn. And somehow, of that restaurant where I don't talk to anybody but the two of you, you are lifetime members now. So I can't say it gave me nothing.
True.
Good old kitchen bar.
Good old kitchen bar.
Flash forward, Jess was your second friend, Becky, but to really have kids and us to be around her kids all the time. And you know,
Jess was my first like pregnant friend that I was close enough to like learn about what being pregnant was like.
Oh yeah, I would text Eva. I mean, every day. We talked every day.
Like, a lot of things I've
all the details.
Yeah, like I almost like knew a lot of it was coming because Jess told me that it would happen.
I complained every day to her.
Jess supported you the whole way down to you're literally wearing her pregnancy bra.
Yeah, I am wearing her bra.
It's comfortable.
She just sent me a picture the other day of her in the bra, like ready to give birth. And
yeah, that was the day before.
where Daphne was born.
Yep. Takes
Yeah,
a
it was-
village.
What are you saying?
It takes a village.
It does.
And now here we are to talk about pregnancy and the transition to motherhood. Wow. So what does it even need to know on the record? Not the off the record.
I
you've
guess
given her.
now that I'm pregnant, obviously I'm already in that part of my experience, but I guess the transitioning into the beginning of motherhood.
You mean like from like not having the baby and then all of a sudden you have the baby?
Yeah, like what's something you would have like wish you would have known, or
I'll never, for some reason, this one story like sticks out to me of I was getting in and out of the car and I was like, I was pregnant. Like, this is gonna be the last time I'll ever be able to get in and out of the car and not have to bring someone with me all the time. Just that baby's gonna be attached to you 24/7. And that's gonna be a huge adjustment from it's just being you guys to constant every day, nonstop.
So how did you deal with that adjustment?
I mean, I just gotta take it day by day. Take breaks when you can. Absolutely. Don't be ashamed to say, "Hey, I'll be back." You know, hold down the fort for a couple hours because you're better when you have a little space and I'm not in your face 24/7. It's a lot of stress, and you can lose your patience easily.
I'll remind you that when you have your third child. That you said that.
It's on the record.
Yeah. Oh no, I'll feel fine
You
leaving.
told me it
I'll
was
be
okay
back.
to ask for help.
This is not about me.
It's all about you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've heard that is that like the thought of even like going to get coffee is like now you gotta like put this baby into like a car seat and bring it in, and you can't like go in, or you gotta take the kid out of the car seat, or
Everything
just thank God for drive through. But
you just find somebody like, hey, you watch this?
yeah.
Yeah, but you won't.
Did it get easier to hold a car seat?
I don't know.
They're
Probably
so
not.
heavy.
Yeah,
They're so heavy.
Pearls.
You adjust, you know? You just do. You have no choice.
You get stronger for sure. Matt is claims he's in better shape because of the kids. He's like, Jack is 40 pounds. We had to pick up a 40-pound bag of sand all day long.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, that would be a bad so in preparation for the baby, I saw a physical therapist today for the first time because I hurt my back last year. So I think we're both going to try to be stronger, healthier, reach in the crib, lift up a baby, don't drop it. We'll start carrying around a bag of flour.
Yeah. Remember how Steve taught me to carry her to hold a tray with potatoes on it?
That's like holding a baby.
We'll put a bag of potatoes into a car seat so I can just start practicing.
I don't know why it was so important to me to flex on everybody that I could open those doors with my feet and have a tray and a plate.
We're back in kitchen bar for everyone.
No, that was very important to you.
Baby here and a baby here.
You just want to show off, you know?
I had so few skills.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the thing with like transitioning, it seems to like parenthood is like, I kind of like, I'm like not psyching myself out about it because it seems like from everybody I've watched do it is that you just have no choice and you just figure it out.
Yeah. 100% capable. You're going to do great.
So what else it should even know? She was an uncomfortable person. Now she's more uncomfortable. Then she'll get more comfortable, but have a baby forever.
Physically comfortable is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I think she knows what to expect. She knows all the goo and the gore of it all. They don't talk about that.
Yeah.
And all the pregnancy marketing. But
what was
it'll be fine. She'll have you.
First
Let's do it together.
First 3 months, new baby. What was something that you didn't expect that you encountered?
I mean, how little sleep you really do get. Those nights are long and they're really hard. So definitely split up your time evenly. You know, if one's getting up, try to get some sleep while the baby's eating because you're gonna need it. Help her position and then go back to sleep.
Yeah, I think
there's nothing you can do.
I don't remember, we didn't really talk about Erica, but Bobby, like I think you might be one of the first that you did breastfeed Eleanor for a couple months after she was born. How long until like you can? I don't know if you remember this. I know it's like those probably first few months are like almost like a blur.
Yeah.
But like for most of it, it's like you're just feeding and like not really bottle feeding quite yet. Like even if you can pump, it's not really till later.
It's like every 2 hours you want to like breastfeed. And it's hard because everything's so sensitive and like new, and baby's like struggling and you're kind of struggling. So it's Steve will have to be there a lot to be like the cool head and like offer like, okay, let's try this. And like you're just gonna be so frustrated.
Yeah.
That's okay. But have formula ready just in case, because I'll never forget Steph with Ellie. She was having trouble breastfeeding and she didn't have any formula, and like they were freaking out because they had to go get some. Just have it. You know, it may not be what the baby will have for. It may change, but just have it back up because those nights are scary. Yeah, it's stressful.
What other pro tips for baby arrival?
Baby arrival? I don't know, man. Just
early stages baby.
Get a good monitor.
Yeah.
Get a monitor that you like, you know, that you can trust and that's quality. It's good. That helps a lot with like your comfort. Like not like staring at making sure it's breathing all the time.
Yeah, we'll get some.
Get outside if you can. Fresh air is always good.
It's funny, like a lot of the things that I can think about with like safety or like even like with breastfeeding, like I can pinpoint to like you, like learning from you or seeing you do it. Like as a dietitian, we are taught like fed is best, but all the benefits of breastfeeding, but they like literally never taught us about how physically uncomfortable and painful it is. And like watching you breastfeed was like, oh, this is actually very uncomfortable. Like they don't tell you that. So like that's something that's important that like women should know so they don't feel bad if they don't want to do it because it freaking hurts.
Yeah.
Or even like one time, I hope you don't mind I'm like disclosing that, but there was like you had your monitor in near Eleanor's crib, and she must have like somehow got to the wire, pulled it, and you came in her room and the wire was like on her or something.
Yeah.
And like I remember how scared you were, and like I think that now of like, oh, like extra precautions of like keeping things away.
Cords. Oh yeah, like with no blinds, I'll like pull the blind and then I'll like tuck the cord up, even now, so they can't get a hold of the cord.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like rooms are usually like the outlets are on the sides and not like the goofy walls. So like where you put a crib, there's always an outlet. So like
right there,
there's no good.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure that out.
You have the covers.
Oh, they do. They have those. Covers.
Yeah, but I'm even thinking like where you plug in your monitor. Like we're going to figure out like a place to mount it. Like there's not a plug next to the door, I don't think. Where like furthest away.
Something to think about. I forgot about that story, Eva. Those are the things, the scary things.
Yeah, people don't talk about it. And then, you kind of like experience it thinking like you're alone or whatever.
You're a terrible mom. Like, what a dummy. Why would you do that?
Yeah. I've been lucky that you've like disclosed or just like obviously just telling me things that are happening, which is good though, because it is so normal. And so like I've seen a lot of our friends who've had kids or go through things that you and I have talked about that's like clearly a very normal situation that they feel like is not. And I'm like, oh, like I always say like, well, Jess
just after that last month,
or Jess kids do that, like it's fine, you're fine.
It's all normal. Yeah, exactly. You're not special. Like Steve always says, not that that's a bad thing, but you're not special. Everyone has been through everything. We've all had the same feelings in the same instances.
For sure.
Yeah, that's definitely our advantage that we get to like learn from everybody and change all their kids' diapers and have all these like first experiences. So it's not like as brand new to us as it was for other folks.
Yeah.
So what else is on your mind? Motherhood, pregnancy?
I don't know.
I wrote a couple of notes earlier.
You have notes?
Yeah. Got notes and milk, fully prepared.
Okay. Here's a tip. Something that's kind of works for me and kind of backfires in some instances. But with my kids, I try to be upfront and honest. And they're 5 or they're 4 and 3 right now, technically. So you can only be upfront, so much. But I try to tell them like true of an answer as they can tolerate at that age. And it kind of helps them like process things with whatever situation that you're, dealing with. Whether it's like, don't jump on that, or, we can't during quarantine. Why can't we go see Nana and Didi because of the virus and you can get sick? And you know.
Yeah, I'm
So
always amazed by how like with it your kids are. They like know what's going on.
yeah.
Yeah, you told me something today that was cool. That's like to share all your shit, even though you're the only listener. Was like Eleanor was like crying, and like kids cry a lot, and we were like Eleanor's like a super emotional baby. Like we told her about you, future baby, and she went, "You're gonna be mommy, you're gonna be a daddy," and she cried. Like she's just so
happy
in.
tears.
Yeah, she was happy.
And in one of her many cries, you were like trying to get her to stop crying, and she's like, "But you told me it's okay to cry." And I was like, "Damn, Eleanor is
backfire."
However, no, that's good because that has been like you talk to her and like explain things to her, and she like gets it. She can like talk to you about her feelings and
yeah. Daphne turned 3 like 3 days ago and was sewing the other day. Like it's awesome. It's not an emotional thing. It's just like I think keeping it real with them does that. I thought of you. I'm 10 pages into this book, how to talk to kids, how to talk so kids will listen and listen so kids will talk. So we'll see if this works, kid. But one of the strategies they had was like naming emotions rather than like, you're not tired, you're not this, like kind of dismissing is like something that gets done a lot. Is like, so if like Eleanor cries because it's all she has, maybe it's like, you're feeling frustrated. Like maybe she's at the point where you can start giving her new emotions where like she just had happy, sad. Like maybe she's ready for some more complex, like you're frustrated or you're feeling jealous of your sister or you're like, and giving her like language to that might help with some of that. But again, like 10 pages in. So we'll see what.
No, that's great. We definitely talk about jealousy with her sister and she's frustrated with, whatever.
Yeah, I would bet Eleanor could probably already identify those things.
Daphne's getting there more.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's hard. The older sibling outshines the younger one. Steve, you're an only child, so we're teaching you along the way.
It's interesting because I think a lot of times little kid, like the younger one outshines.
Well, I think the younger one gets more attention out of necessity, but the older one
they're cuter,
knows the system. You know what I mean? Eleanor knows how to take the attention back if she wants it. And most of the other little kids like will yell, be louder. Like Nathan will just dominate if he needs to or wants to. You know what I mean? He's doing to Molly. Like we'll just like push her out of the way.
And then Owen just has to be cute, and then all attention's back to him.
Yeah,
I think he's the nose breaker from everything I understand of Owen. He's just pushing and like he's the little bruiser.
He's the scary one.
He's the scary one.
He's so cute.
He is so cute, but he's a shithead for sure.
I also want to say I think I had a couple more things in here.
Yeah.
Oh, do activities.
You're really good at activities.
Queen activity.
Be busy. It helps. It helps because you get stir crazy and you start looking at the walls and it's like, feel like I'm alone. I feel I'm gonna go nuts. I have to go do something and just get outside for a little bit. I know you guys don't like the outdoors, but you're gonna have to adjust.
Yeah, your activity and organizational goals for us with like you break out the kit, it has the stickers go in this bag, you're like all set out, and like we just don't entirely live like that at the moment. And I think that's something that we need to adopt.
Whatever works for you.
But it's a good system.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna pan over to our dining room table right now. And like
I actually organized it today.
There you go. And it still is like
he's like
there's like Rolaids, an empty AirPods box, blood pressure cuff, forks.
Anyway,
all things she uses.
Those are us.
You're gonna do what works for you. Everyone has their own
made
system.
that an Eva thing, but I said it was our table. That's just how we're vibing right now.
Just move on to the topic at hand. Activity.
Topic it out.
You come up with good activities too that are like I think like sometimes like what are those like pipe straw thingies?
Pipe
cleaners. Like Eleanor loves just to play with those and like make stuff out of those. Like it's just simple craft. It's not like messy. It's just, but it can totally like occupy them, and that's like such a good.
Oh yeah.
Where do you come up with their activity?
Where do you think of all this wacky stuff?
Sorry, it like froze in a weird way. What was your question?
We all just froze. we'll say the internet froze for that. Eva said, how do you come up with all those activities?
Oh.
You do a whole bunch of stuff. It's not just...
Yeah, I mean, I have two older sisters, and they have kids, and I've always been around kids, and it just comes naturally, I think. I'm just, we're just a big family-friendly family,
Yeah.
kid-friendly family. So, online,
Yeah.
peers, all types of things. Anything that's not gonna be too much of a mess, and I can relax a little bit because after running around cooking and cleaning, you don't want to like do a huge activity. So
Yeah.
something a little laid back is always nice too.
Yeah. Fortunately, we got some time before it's actually activity time.
True.
Yeah, you have like a good year before any of that even exists.
I'm just thinking like one of like your more creative ones is like it's probably when you guys went to like the shore, you picked a bunch of seashells and then you
Aw.
glued gems onto them, and then that was like a Christmas gift from the kids. Like that's like so one's like such a good way to like reuse something like what do you do,
So
shells?
inexpensive.
You like loved it. Like I think we actually made one together when I was over once.
We have one upstairs.
Yeah, we have one. It was for Eleanor 'cause she was older. Definitely was
Yeah.
always for hot glue, but
That's like my thing. Like, what can I do to keep them occupied that's also like inexpensive and not gonna like? Because I feel like parents like they shell out all this money. Like, other than I just bought my 3-year-old an iPad, but other than that,
that's gonna go a long way.
Yeah, that's a good value.
yeah, exactly. 2020. But just hang out with them. They just want you to play. On my most stressful days, and I'm just tired. And Eleanor's question is, "Mom, can you just play with us? Just play." And it can be anything, and they're just so happy.
Yeah.
And it's the best for them. It's just your
Yeah.
attention and your time. And it's so hard sometimes in those days because you're exhausted, and it's like, oh, okay, Riley.
I'm not good at playing.
I know.
Steve's really good at playing, but I'm sure like I don't want our kid to feel like I don't want to play with them.
It's hard. It's hard to play as an adult. It takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
You'll be like 2 minutes into a game and you'll be like, what about this? A game they're like perfectly content with. You're gonna have to learn to like play.
Just be patient and play and yeah.
It's okay. She'll figure it out.
Yeah, we have to play and cover it. I think having a kid quickly-ish is helpful because once you have two, it's like, all right, now you two go play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although I feel like you still have to be very involved in your two kids playing.
Yes, until they're like 8 and they don't want to play anymore. And they're just
Yeah.
You're gonna be involved in everything.
They'll play with them, just like the two of them, and kind of leave you alone more now.
Yeah, they fight half the time. Yeah. They just called me telling me how one got scratched, one got punched. It's like handle it. It's practice, I guess.
Oh my goodness.
What else you got in those notes?
I should turn the light on. I think that was my last note. Hold on.
This is the
sun's going down. Yeah, just
great. Thanks. So we can go to what other questions do you have on topic? We have our like general ones we ask folks.
I don't know. Do you have anything?
No, I mean we're normal ones. I mean we don't. We can.
Time,
Obviously, Jess will be a repeat customer.
All the questions I probably have already asked her in offline. So like I'm like I don't have any questions because they probably been answered. Not on a podcast.
Let me see. I did have one last thing with Eleanor being like the most emotional kid. I try to remember that like their age versus their emotion. She's 4. 4 years ago, where was I? I still have trouble talking about how I feel. So I have to like remember to lower my expectations of them.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of times I'll see him with kids and you'll try to talk to them like adults, which is good because you want to be upfront with them and explain things, but we also have to remember that they're still like little kids.
Babies, yeah.
They don't have the capacities that we do. And even we do, and we still have a hard time with it.
Yeah, it's a balance.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. All right, stock questions. What would you say is like a key lesson you learned from your parents? Is there anything you've taken?
Probably just like to respect people. Like, I can never step out of line. I can never yell at my parents. I respect my elders, and I think that's like a big thing. I expect the girls to respect me. Like they can't talk to me like no crazy way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm quick to be like, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
They are. I'm not gonna have a 15-year-old yelling at me. So that's a big thing for me.
Sorry, Mom, when you watch this one.
Was you?
I didn't catch that lesson early enough.
Were you a Kyle, Steve?
I don't know what Kyle refers to, but yeah, probably.
Is that a mean?
Like an aggressive, white young teen who like punches holes through walls.
Yeah,
Really?
I used to punch my door for sure.
Oh my
You
god!
both see me punch doors.
Yeah, I didn't think about you doing it as like a teenager.
I was a shithead.
If I punch the door, I get punched in the face.
I was a
How are you, Eva? Were you disciplined? Strong,
I
by
was.
your
It was a very strict upbringing for me too, but I definitely like rebelled as I got older. But I don't think I
humble brag.
like. But I was like so scared to like get in trouble or like for my
Yeah.
parents to find out I was doing anything wrong, or there were times my mom and I would fight, but it would be bad. Probably like I think other kids would probably not get as much trouble as I did for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we went to battle sometimes. But surprise, surprise. What has been the most challenging part of parenting for you?
I think just keeping my patience. I can have a bit of a temper, so just learning to just like check myself and stop and just take a breath. That's hard for me. I still battle with that, but you try. You try. I apologize whenever I yell unnecessarily. I always try to apologize and explain and talk it out.
Yeah.
I think all parents we talk to in general say that like
Mhm.
patience thing.
It's hard.
The immediate guilt that follows.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
parenting guilt is so real. I wonder, I'm interested to have our parents on and think about like guilt, and specifically like their topic should be like that sort of like comparison culture that we have, like without the internet the way we have it. Like I wonder if my mom or your mom ever thought like, oh, this mom does all these things and
Yeah.
I'm sure.
They had that like.
I'm sure they did that like at the schoolyard. You see like this mom does that, and then, but you don't have like the connectivity into like
not the constant like on social media scrolling. Look at what this mom's doing.
Yeah.
It's all about. I think for Eva, it was about how she presented herself, is how her mom felt. What she was doing.
Yeah.
Well, Eva it was beautiful and played
I
piano and
always had to have clean socks
grades.
if I went anywhere.
Yes. What was up with that with the clean socks?
Mom was very much about clean socks.
Yeah, this
My mom was the
teacher
same
is right. What is it with the socks?
So true. So funny.
I said I was cold the other day, and he was like, "Are you wearing socks?"
First of all,
And I was.
My mom does do that. She'll be like, "You're not wearing socks. You're cold." And I'm like, "I'm not cold." But she always wanted us to have clean socks when we went places.
I'm proud, but when I have a pair of clean socks, I'm like, these are really white and these are really clean.
Like whenever I go places, I'm like, I gotta make sure I'm wearing nice socks. I still do that.
Well, on the day that Steve proposed to Eva, it was a huge secret. She had no idea, and the reason she had a hint. Tell him about the socks, and you kind of like knew because of the socks he was wearing.
Well, at the time, my grandma didn't know that Steve had tattoos. So whenever Steve was around my grandma, he would have to hide his tattoos, and he has one on his ankle. So he would only wear high socks, like in a casual. Obviously, wear high socks with like business cash, but like on a casual outfit. I
wouldn't wear them if I wasn't going to work,
like,
and I wore them the day we were going to Franklin.
Yeah, so we were driving to like go have our date day, and I saw that he was wearing high socks with his jeans, and I was like,
"Hey, bro, your mom, who we both know, doesn't notice shit. Notice my socks that day. That's messed up."
My mom?
No, as in
oh.
I know it took me a second.
I was like, my mom never seen that.
Big
He knows things. You just
don't. We always blur the lines of. We call it a podcast, but really it's just a time capsule to Jess and our
No. I use that exact verbiage today. This is a time capsule.
It is time capsule.
It is. It's unprecedented times. That's the joke name of this thing, in that like people say that all the time right now because it's so wacky. But we'll see. I don't even know what that question was about.
We're talking about patience and
mom
guilt afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like everybody.
Sorry.
Were there any parts of parenting that surprised you? You didn't see it coming?
Not really. I mean, with the girls, they're just, they're just mine. They love me. I love them. They're like my little gang, and we're just as of right now. That's how I feel.
Oh, damn.
Like it's just no, like
Get older, they're gonna be like, want to do
yeah, they're not gonna want to be with you hanging out with me all the time and like.
Hey, well, you're fucking weird. Like, you love your mom.
That's true. You do hang out.
Of course.
I love my mom. I love you, mom. But like, you know, me and my mom aren't gonna go get margaritas. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
true. It's different.
boys are
Yeah.
different.
We're
shithead,
definitely gonna
but,
get
like,
margaritas.
not as I don't know a lot of people who are as close with their mom as like you and your sisters are.
Yeah. Yeah, we are very close. I think that's probably just that's the thing. You have a forever best friend.
Damn.
So sweet. Sure. What else we got?
I think we're good. We gave you the warning that you could have questions for us if you had any.
I think I've already talked about it. I think I wanted to ask Eva if she was going to commit to going outside more when the baby comes.
Probably. I'll probably like make Jess guilt.
I feel like our neighbors have an outside vibe like us because we're in a townhouse and I can, we share back and front lawns with these people and like they'll spend 15, 20 minutes and not necessarily every day, mostly in their driveway and the kid kind of enters into the lawn. And I'm like, that's my kind of outside. I dig it.
I remember you saying that a lot when Eleanor was really little, like wanting to like, she's like been inside all day. I think I'm sure I'll think about that and be like, I should let him have some fresh air.
Yeah, it interests me.
I should let him have some fresh air. We should give him some.
We should let him out of this house.
Yeah, right. It interests me how like natural kids are, and that's like a stupid thing to say, but like how they're like pumped to go outside. You know, like how they're just
outside.
They like organically they don't care who you are, you know what I mean? Like they just say hi to people, they're friendly, and it's like it's fascinating to me to see how we like culture the nature out of kids in some ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where like we make kids scared, we make them a little more like what kids that are that little are pretty just pure.
Yeah.
And it's like it's weird how jazzed they are to just be outside. So there's just something natural, like to me that just says like that's clearly good, right? Like they're saying they're like signs of like being outside is good, it's good for you, the sun, the air, whatever. Like
they get tired, they get dirty, they can sleep well that night, give them a bath and it's just go to sleep. It's good memories. They remember that stuff, you know?
Even when it's like cold, kids like love being outside.
Love it.
Yeah, no perception.
That's gonna be a challenge for me. I do not like to be outside.
Yeah, that's gonna be a challenge for the world for a while. Outside is not really
even like playing outside like
we've got a good vibe. Like I'm glad we have this house and neighborhood that like there's a little cul-de-sac to ride scooters and whatever and have a catch and like we've got just enough grass back here to like
that cul-de-sac is really nice. I love a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be cool and interesting.
Yeah. We'll try.
Okay, that was it.
More outdoorsy, less indoorsy.
That's my only request. I might think of more.
You can keep them for next episode you're on.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. We don't even scratch the surface on like I think discipline in the future is one that we'll talk about.
Yeah.
I think we've got kind of penned out that I want to talk about a lot of people is like kind of we just talked about, but like gender roles and like the way that we program kids is something I'm interested in. Like it's interesting how many like you, Eleanor, is with like big emotions and being so like sweet and like, oh my God, look how cute. Like she just emulates all the like things that you do.
Yeah.
I think that's so interesting and worthy of a topic in itself.
Yeah.
She is mini you. It's crazy.
Well, he's gonna be mini you guys. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see.
Yeah. Eleanor's your soft side and Daphne's your rough side.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
I feel like everyone on her birthday's like, happy birthday to this feisty. Like everyone describes her as being like a tough cookie.
She is. Eleanor was like my first half of my life. That's my second half.
They're the Sour Patch Kids.
I think a lot of kids like have that.
Oh, they're sweet. Yeah, they're both so sweet.
Some of that is just baked into like second kid survival. You know what I mean? You got to be like toughen up a little bit to make it.
It's true.
But you're not. So I don't know. Molly's not like that. That theory doesn't totally track.
It kind of depends. Yeah. And honestly, I think the thing is like you have two girls who are very similar and very opposite at the same time, and they're like being raised the same, and so I think you can like do all you want, and then they just have their personalities. Like Eleanor as a baby was always like when Steve was talking about like how kids are like always saying hi. It's not like Eleanor as a baby was that baby. She would say hi. She would smile at people, and I don't think Daph is as much that way.
No, she's a little more shy.
Yeah.
Like Erica and Mike were just on talking about, how their daughter's so shy.
Yeah.
It all depends.
Yeah.
I think your kid probably will be shy because of lockdown, and we're not going to be around as many people.
Yeah.
These next
I'm
coming.
really used to it.
Yeah, let's be honest. For
That's
a while.
We'd always talked about that. Like I thought of like Nathan because when he was born, he would go to like grandparents and Jen's and Pat's, and like he had a few like places he would stay and sleep and be regularly, and he was like really cool if you'd watch him. And then there are some kids who don't have that as much, and then they freak out when you're not around. So I worry about like, but I don't know. I feel like Owen bounces around a little bit to like grandparents and stuff, and I tried to watch him and he freaked out. So I don't know if there's like science there, but I worry about that our kid won't have. Like hopefully the kid's a potato until they're like 9 months anyway, so it's not crucial. And then hopefully by like next when the kid is like a year, we're mostly through the woods with this weird bullshit. And
it'll be like, August 2021. Let's like
it won't.
There'll be a vaccine, and we'll be out of.
It's a lot harder for like Eleanor. Eleanor knows that other kids aren't around. I would think long term, Grayson is like gonna feel that effect of not seeing other kids at like a really important age, like 3.
True. Well, remember
Matt talking about it, like Jack for a minute like kind of thought he was in trouble. They thought, you know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? Like kids, all he knows is he's not seeing people that he always sees. So I think
sad.
And I think a lot of kids are probably feeling that like, is this like a punishment? Like these people are gone. So many people come in and out of kids' lives. It's like, where did they go?
Yeah, that's so weird.
It's a tough time. I'm hopeful that I don't know what normal looks like going forward, but
well, they just extended the lockdown in Jersey for another 30 days. So
I had a call at work with like the CEO of our little company, and he was like, we're not going to be leaders on this. We're going to wait and see what happens and take safety first. So like we're going to be in this for a long time, like Eva and I, in this kind of lockdown state, even beyond like when people eventually like urban access will open back up. Like I'm not going to do league probably this year, definitely not like when it first opens.
I'm kind of in that boat. I want to wait for that first wave and then just see what happens.
You got to see how it goes. Like the summer might get a little better, but like if it comes in a second wave in the fall, and like I easily could see me working home remotely the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But
I know it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to watch this back in a couple of years when we know what happens. To be like, wow, can you imagine? We thought we'd be out of it in a year and watch it for like 2 years.
And we're all like bee suits.
Our kid is still like, what? Who? Like, what is school?
Yeah. What are people?
Stop! My God,
do you like going to school like virtually? And Molly was like, it's called Zoom. Like, okay.
That's funny.
It's not called Zoom.
That's funny.
Application.
Yeah, I make training materials with.
Anyway.
Kids, man.
Well, thanks for being on our show.
I love you. It went well. I was nervous, but everything went really well.
Best one yet.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you, Jess.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.